Hello, my name is Jean Béliveau, and it is the 17th of March, 2026. And I have this script for you. It's called Democratic Vigilance. So, in a society like Canada and in Quebec, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, and access to information are fundamental rights. These rights are protected by Canadian law and are also recognized internationally through the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of the United Nations. These protections are meant to ensure that every individual can inform themselves, understand the world around them, and form their own opinions freely, without discrimination, whether political, spiritual, or cultural. The need for vigilance here is despite these protections, differences can exist in how information is, is shared and understood. Ideas, whether related to health, politics, spirituality, or other areas, can sometimes be presented in ways that reach certain groups more effectively than others. Yeah, um, the choice of words, the level of complexity, and the method of communication can influence how a message is received. This can lead to what we might call a two-level communication. Clear and accessible information for some, and more complex or less accessible informations for others. Um, Even in this effect, it affects only a small number of people. Even if this only affects only a small number of people, it remains a real issue that deserves attention. Secular, Secularism, protecting without excluding. In a secular context like Quebec, the goal is to ensure that the state remains neutral and that freedom of belief is respected. However, secularism must never become a tool for exclusion. It should um, protect the right to believe or not believe, allow different world views to exist, ensure that no one is excluded from access to information or expression. If certain ideas are consistently dismissed, ignored, or made harder to access, this goes against the true spirit of secularism. Separation and the right to information. As long as Quebec remains part of Canada, its population benefits from strong legal protections for rights and freedoms. including access to information and freedom of expression. In the case of a potential separation, these protections would no longer automatically apply. A new legal framework would need to be created. Uh, the protection of these rights would depend on future laws and policies. This does not automatically mean a loss of rights. However, it does mean that there is a possibility that access to information and equality in communication could change depending on how those rights are defined and protected. This is why it is important to reflect on these questions with clarity and responsibility, a collective responsibility. We all have a role to play in building fair and accessible communication. We would aim to make information clear and understandable for everyone, and unnecessary biases in how ideas are presented. That is, avoid unnecessary biases in how ideas are presented. Encourage critical thinking rather than blind acceptance. Respect respect diversity in opinions and perspectives. So that's rising awareness is not about imposing a single truth. It is about giving people the tools to think, question, and understand. So the this for so the conclusion of this is a free society is not defined only by its laws, but by the qualities and fairness of its communication. Whether Quebec remains within Canada or becomes independent, one principle must remain essential: equal access to information for all, without exclusion or manipulation. Manipulation. Even one person left behind is one too many. Let us remain aware, thoughtful, and engaged, so that communication remains a tool of freedom and not an invisible barrier. And thank you for tonight, and good night.